Hello and welcome to the RotD deep dive spoiler-filled discussion of The Gravedancers. I am going to get super nitpicky, but ultimately I think it proves the point of why I feel this movie doesn't work. There is a cardinal sin in my mind of when a horror movie goes totally wrong. And I think one of the worst examples of what a horror movie can do is break its own rules. When you write a horror film or even a book, you are creating characters, you are creating supernatural elements, you are defining them, you are coming up with your own little twists and little rules, and basically you are creating a mythos. And the big thing that you need to do is once those rules are established, you follow them. Not just your characters, but you, the writer, the director, the cameraman, the actor. You follow the rules that have been established, period. If as a writer, you find yourself, and this often happens, this is a frequent occurrence for people that write, especially horror stuff, is once you establish those rules and mythos, you may find yourself at the beginning of Act 3 totally painted in a corner because of them. Figure it out. Be clever. Make your characters clever. Find a way through it. Do not rewrite your rules to get yourself out of that corner. It is cheap. And it doesn't work, and it ruins your horror movie. When you have established rules, and then you find your characters in a tough position and you don't know how to get out of it, having those characters, I just came across this supplement suffix of the book that we did the incantation for, and it says, well, if we hop on one foot, then we'll be fine. That's crap. It is absolute crap, and you don't ever do it. You make your characters more clever than the mythos and the evil entity, and they find a way through it, not around it. And I'll give some examples to this. And I think chief of this was something that I was literally laughing at in this movie. You have these haunting spiritual, supernatural elements to it, and they fairly clearly define what the rules are through the incantation. This will not stop until the people that are being haunted are laid to rest. Period. And a clever way to have tackled that would have been to purposefully bury them alive. Say a prayer, put them to rest, and then unbury them. Problem solved. And you could have all sorts of malevolent things trying to stop that from happening and so forth, but you would be following the rules that were written. Instead, now we have to pull something else out of our butt. So let's dig up the bodies of the haunting elements and then rebury them, because that makes a super duper amount of sense. And we must get every single piece. Okay, fine. Now you have these new rules. Okay, now you've rewritten your rules to get yourself out of this corner you've painted yourself in. Let's move forward. So they dig them up and they rebury them and they put the dirt over and they make it super nice and they say a prayer, and now problem solved. Except, of course, it wasn't. And okay, fine. Plot, continuation, character motivation, twist, so on and so forth. Leading up to the climactic finale. And the movie reaches its character, protagonist against antagonist, final moment with a character literally spitting in the eye socket of a skull and throwing it into an open dirt hole. And that is supposed to be the same as as putting to rest the haunting entity. So how is that putting that to rest? You already rewrote your own rule, and now you're breaking the rule that you rewrote. It doesn't make sense. Toss. Done. That has nothing to do with burying and putting to rest. It's not burying, it's tossing, it's not putting to rest, it's disrespectful. It just doesn't make sense. It was laughable. I thought it was wonderful in the sense that it was really, really funny to me, but I don't think funny was necessarily what it was going for. I think it was trying to be scary and have, a character conclusion happening, and it just was funny. Yeah, you have to follow your own rules. I think that's just critical. It's paramount. You absolutely have to. Moving forward, other issues that I had with this is the movement of the gate to surround the house. Cool. That's a nice little creepy element. I like the way they led up to that. I can see the gate out there. I never thought I could before. Well, maybe they trimmed the trees back. It was a nice little segue into that, and it kind of led up to that, and that's all fine and well and good. But then the gate wrapped around the house, also fine and good. You trap the characters, you isolate the terror, you do a good job of containing things. Except it didn't. You have this malevolent entity that can bend the rules of physics and space and you literally take a gate that is who knows how far out and probably yay high and bring it up to the second story of a house and wrap it around it. Okay, fine, that's fine. But how much sense does that make when you have an entity that is that powerful and uses the gate as a tool like that to manipulate it in such a grand fashion to bring it up to the second story of a 3-story house? We're trapped. We can't get out. Well, let's go upstairs. We're still trapped. We can't get out. Well, let's go a little higher. Hey, we can get out. Sweet. What kind of sense does that make? Super duper ghostly antagonist, my butt. It didn't make sense. None of this movie made sense. None of the characters clicked with one another. It was infuriating. And that's pretty much all I have to say about it. I don't mind spending more time and effort and discussion of this with you, but I have said all I need to as far as me speaking into a microphone, into a camera alone in my room here. So at this point, I would like to hear from you. What did you think of the Gravedancers? Do you agree with me? Did you think it was good? Let's discuss it. Leave some comments below. I will be reading them. I will be replying to them and engaging with them. Other than that, I know that I was pretty harsh on this and pretty animated about it. Honestly, that's sometimes just how I get. But ultimately, what I'd like to do at this point is really thank you for making me a part of your day. I really do appreciate it. And I really hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you.